T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
The Raiders lead the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as we get set to start the third quarter of action here at the LA Memorial Coliseum. Can you believe it? LA Raiders only 11 yards on the ground. Boy, do they miss the young man Robinson. Nick Bell only 7 yards, 4 carries, 7 yards. And Tampa Bay 22nd in the league against the rush. So, boy, that certainly isn't speaking well of the Raiders' ground game.
Well, I'll tell you what, they certainly do miss the running game in this football game. But what they've been doing is passing. They've got 119 yards in the half, doing pretty well. They've got a touchdown out of it. So it's kind of off balance. We knew coming into this football game that the Raiders were going to pass more, but we certainly didn't know that their running game was going to be as anemic as it has been.
Well, Tampa Bay has certainly done the job in terms of time of possession, controlling the ball nearly 20 minutes to the Raiders 10:57. And now if Sam White can just get his charges to put a few more points on the board, statistically things are certainly looking Tampa Bay's way, with the exception of on the scoreboard where they trail the Raiders 17-10. But what have you seen about Tampa Bay's play that you liked in the first half?
Well, what I like so far is the time of possession. They've kept the Raider offense off of the field, which is what you've got to do when you've got that big play threat, guys that can go downfield. That's what Tampa Bay has impressed me with so far. Also, the running of Reggie Cobb. He's been doing a very good job finding the holes.
And going back to another point that we talked about at the top of the game, the Raiders' inability to handle prosperity when they are ahead, the inability to put teams away. Craig Erickson has been up under all kinds of pressure, but can the Raiders do a better job of really just putting the foot down on Tampa?
They're going to have to. What they're going to have to do is get the turnovers. They've missed the opportunity. Hoskins missed an interception. McDaniels missed an interception. Those are the things that Art Shell is talking about that's driving him nuts. Get those things, get those interceptions, and that's how you put the stamp on people's throats.
Raiders receiving the second half kickoff, and Rocket Ismail downs it. Will be first and 10 for the Raiders at their own 20. Jeff Hostetler had himself a very decent first half indeed. 8 of 11 for 119 yards, 1 touchdown. Craig Erickson up under a lot of pressure, but again, he handled it pretty well.
I'm impressed with the way Craig Erickson has handled it. Been under a ferocious pass rush from that front four of the Los Angeles Raiders and has performed admirably.
What's up, Raider Nation? Happy Black Friday. I am the Commish, coming to you live, as always, from the friendly confines of Hardcore Challenge Live Studios. Deep behind the enemy line, we welcome you in for another edition of Raider Reaction. Black Friday, Silver and Black Theater, dusting off another classic from the Raider archives. Tonight we're dipping back all the way to 1993. Man, it's the goddamn year I graduated, for Christ's sakes. December 19th. Going all the way back to the Silver and Black time machine. Enjoy tonight's Silver and Black Theater presentation, courtesy of Raider Reaction, the Raider Reaction 19.
Mark at the 29. The draw. Bell. And Bell bulls his way across the 30 for the first down. Hardy Nickerson, the first there to hit him. And there is a Tampa Bay Buck player down on the ground. And Nick Bell is a big back to be falling on you. Listed at 6'2", about 250. He may be a bit more. Not as big as Craig Hayward.
Well, certainly not as big as Craig Hayward. You're talking about a Mack truck and a train, you know, locomotive. But a big back nonetheless. They're tough to drag down. It appears the injured player is Jerry Gray. It appears what he was revving is he got a hip pointer. And here comes the block. Bell just really ran him over and knocked him aside. It appears that he's... Yeah, I tell you, there's probably about a 50-pound weight differential between the two.
First down, Hostetler under pressure, Santana Dotson picking up his 5th sack of the season. And Santana Dotson is certainly the possessor of an awful lot of skills, and Floyd Peters would like to see him display it consistently.
I'll tell you, from inside the left tackle there, Santana Dotson he's a very, very talented football player. He was, of course, the defensive rookie of the year last year. Very, very talented football player.
And comes from some good bloodlines. Alphonse Dotson, of course, who played for the Raiders. It's now a 2nd and 17. Ball is spotted at the 24. Hostetler with time drills it complete to Alexander White. And White tackled by Marty Carter and Jimmy Williams. Or make that Nickerson. There's Jimmy Williams down up underneath.
Hardy Nickerson, a very active linebacker all over the field. That's what makes him such a plus in his Tampa Bay defense. He's a very intelligent football player as well, which goes good for an inside linebacker. He's very smart. He knows what teams are going to do and how they're going to try and attack that defensive secondary. I like to see that pursuit that Hardy Nickerson has.
3rd and 8 from the 33. 12:44 left in the 3rd. Raiders on top, 17-10. Hostetler dumps it to Ethan Horton, and Horton rumbles his way up. We'll see where the spot is, but it looks like he may be about 6 inches shy, but looks like he gets a pretty favorable spot here. Mark Wheeler finally hustled him down. That looked like a very good spot there, Dennis. Very good spot.
Once again, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers doing a good job of confusing Jeff Hostetler. They drop the 2 inside tackles out again, which takes the first reader away from Hostetler, and all he has left is to dump the ball up to Ethan Horton. Ethan does a good job of just getting upfield. We're going to take a look at the spot right now. It appears he's just short, about 6 inches short of the first down.
Still short, but on that replay that we saw, his elbow with the ball actually hit just at the 40. So either way, he still came up with a very favorable spot.
That's correct.
But not enough for the first down, obviously. So Jeff Gossett comes on for the Raiders to punt it away, and standing back at his own 19 is Courtney Hawkins of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Believe it or not, that's an important boost for this Tampa Bay football club, to have the defense make the stand there and not allow the first down and the drive to continue by the Raiders.
Hawkins averaging 11.5 yards per punt return, his longest a 35-yarder. Late flag thrown at at the far side 41, and Hawkins lets it roll into the end zone, but there is a flag on the far side 41. And Bernard Wilson, I'm wondering if in fact that's the man they spotted being off.
Tell you what, that is a big mistake. That would give the Los Angeles Raiders the first down. As I had mentioned earlier, it was a very important drive for them to stop. Boy, that is a very costly penalty for Tampa Bay.
Offside, defense, number 96, 5-yard penalty, first down.
And in fact, it was Bernard Wilson.
Bernard Wilson right here, right over the center. We're going to see him jump off sides. That is a very costly penalty for Tampa Bay, one that I seriously doubt they'll be able to make up.
So the drive stays alive for the Raiders. 11:58 left in the third quarter. Hostetler back to pass. Down he goes. Get it going. Sack. Buccaneers on the job. Mark Wheeler apparently was the first to get there. His second sack of the season.
The defense really stepping up. We take a look at Wheeler here, the right defensive tackle. Look at that. Nice club move to get back to the outside and just presses it up the field. Grabs hold of Hostetler for the sack.
You see the numbers on sacks allowed today for both teams. 2nd and 15 for the Raiders. Jordan with the ball carry, but there is a flag in the middle of the field at about the 44. And this will go against the Raiders.
With this running game, Jeff, of the Los Angeles Raiders, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are doing a good job spreading it to the sidelines, making them get horizontal yardage, which of course doesn't count.
Offense, number 88, 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down, second down.
You know, I can't help but tease with you because I know you played so often with Jeff Lageman, but is my hair as long as Jeff's?
You're not as handsome as Jeff is, James.
I've never been accused of being handsome, rest assured. Guys, 2nd and 25 for the Raiders. 3 wide receivers. And Nick Bell taking it across the 40, but nowhere near enough. 13 yards regained on the play. Will bring up a 3rd and 12. LA Memorial Coliseum here in Los Angeles, California, the site of today's contest between the playoff hopeful Raiders and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Raiders on top 17-10, 10:33 left in the third quarter of play. James Brown along with Dennis Byrd. Hostetler, a lot of time short of the first down marker by about 7 yards. Ethan Horton so Jeff Gossett on to punt for the Raiders.
Take a look at this. Tampa Bay defense does a good job of being physical in here. Watch these bumps, just getting in there, taking that speed away from these guys. That was Roger Jones getting a nice bump on the wide receiver there. That's what Tampa Bay has to do. Once again, the Tampa Bay defense rises to the occasion, stops the Raiders, and forces them to punt the ball.
Gossett to punt. Hawkins back. And the ball will be down at about the 14 of Tampa Bay by Dan Land. 40-yard punt, Tampa Bay ball when we come back. First and 10, Tampa Bay from its own 14 on the ground. Cobb, Reggie Cobb across the 20 to about the 21. A gain of 7 by Reggie Cobb will bring up a 2nd and 3. Reggie Cobb, although again not 100% running well, and I think important for Tampa to continue to move that ball effectively on the ground.
Continue to keep possession of the football. They've done a good job of that so far this game, and to get some points, obviously. But it's critical, time of possession. They need to keep the Raiders offense off the field.
2nd and 3. Copeland in motion. This is Cobb. And Cobb stuffed. Dropped. Chester McLaughlin. A loss on a play of about 3. And San Francisco continuing to pound Detroit.
Tampa Bay had been doing a good job of stretching this defense, then cutting the football back. What they did right there is they ran the ball front side, they stayed front side, and there was no daylight. The Raiders defense stopped them dead for a loss of 3. They need to continue to stretch and cut the football back against the grain, get that Raiders defense to overflow.
3rd and 6. Big play here for the Buccaneers. Erickson launching the home run ball for Hawkins. By Courtney Hawkins. Wow. What a catch and adjustment by Hawkins. Wow. That was awesome. A 48-yard pass play, and give a lot of credit to Erickson also adjusting under pressure.
Well, look at Courtney Hawkins. He beats double coverage. He gets to the outside. The safety comes over top. And here you'll see the safety coming in there. Courtney Hawkins just wins this battle. He goes up and gets the football. I tell you what, that's all Courtney Hawkins there. Of course, Erickson had to avoid the rush by Aaron Wallace and get the ball off. But goodness, give Courtney Hawkins a credit. A wonderful, wonderful big play.
Out battling Eddie Anderson and Lionel Washington. Cobb. Wow. No go for Cobb. A loss of about 1 on the play there. We'll call it 2.
The Raiders defense just stringing that ball out. Howie Long coming up in there and just laying the wood to Reggie Cobb. What a shot.
And a little help from Joe Kelly as well. Well, you know, Sam White last week talked about in the euphoria after the game, the victory over Chicago, that this Tampa Bay squad would be in the playoffs next year. He amended that to say they will be a serious contender, but you're seeing signs of that now.
Yes, we certainly are seeing signs of that. Very competitive football team right now.
2nd and 11. The draw to Cobb. And Cobb did not have much daylight to operate with, as he does get 2. And even signs like this with the Bucs battling back with the Raiders trying to intimidate, a good sign as well.
Well, I'll tell you, the Buccaneers, James, on paper in statistical categories, they're competing very well or beating the Los Angeles Raiders. Time of possession, a big key. They're just not leading on the scoreboard. Tampa Bay playing very competitive, very good football right now against a very talented Raider defense and offense.
Sam White seeing his running back Reggie Cobb work hard this afternoon. 18 carries, 44 yards. 3rd and 9. Erickson looking for Copeland, incomplete. Terry McDaniel. I'm sure Copeland heard the hoof of McDaniel right on top of him. So Michael Husted will come on to attempt the field goal. The rookie out of Virginia has a career best already of 57 yards. This will be a 49-yard field goal attempt by Michael Husted. Straczynski, the holder. And this is going to be off the mark. Michael Husted, no good on the 49-yarder. Still a 17-10 Raiders lead. 17-10 ball game, and Dennis Bird, you mentioned very crucial points that Tampa could have put on the board. Tampa Bay and came up short on that 49-yard field goal attempt.
Well, you know, as it is, a touchdown only ties the football game. The Raiders, if they move the ball, kick the field goal, makes it very difficult for the Buccaneers to make up those points.
Randy Jordan, the ball carrier for the Raiders. And what initially looked as if it was going to wind up being a loss on that play, Randy Jordan runs hard and picks up 1 yard on the play. Tell you, the Raiders have really been experiencing futility on the ground. 14 yards rushing. Wow, 10 yards in the first quarter, only 1 yard in the second quarter, 3 thus far in the third quarter with 6:05 left in the third.
You talk about that dominating front for the Raiders. I'll tell you what, this has been a dominating front for the Buccaneers.
On 2nd and 9, Ethan Horton catches it, but he's about 2 yards shy of the first down marker. Well, the futility on the ground for the Raiders certainly coincided with the injury to their outstanding rookie out of Northeast Louisiana, Greg Robinson, there. Before being sidelined, he was the leading rusher of all rookies in the AFC. You see the numbers there, 591 yards.
Very talented young running back. Very good moves along with explosive power. He's 5'10", 205 pounds. A very good running back. He's something that the Raiders need in this backfield right now. Something that they're not quite getting the production out of that running backfield that they would like to have.
And Jeff Hostetler signals for a timeout on 3rd and 1 for the Raiders. Raiders are 0 for 5 on third down conversions. Hostetler wants to talk it over.
We take a look at Floyd Peters, the defensive coordinator for the Buccaneers, just telling his defensive people, keep the pressure on, let's keep it going. They're playing very good defensive football, and he doesn't want them to let up. He's got to tell them, put the pressure on. You got to get these guys stopped, get that offense back on the field.
He understands the importance of this 3rd and 1 situation. Raiders 0 for 5 on third down conversions on a play action. And Hostetler overthrows the intended receiver, James Jett. Joe King back with Ricky Reynolds on the coverage.
Wouldn't you think that's kind of hard to do, James?
Yeah, no kidding.
Overthrow James Jett.
And a little behind him. Well, Hostetler will be the first to tell you that this is certainly the most talent he's ever worked with in the wide receiving corps. As we take a look at Al Davis, the owner of the Raiders.
And that's why you see the most talent. Al Davis, he'll take anybody that can run under a 4.140. And for that matter, he'll take anybody with a prison record to play on this football team.
He likes him aggressive. Jeff Gossett punting from his own 30. Courtney Hawkins will field it at the 13. Hawkins looking for an opening and gets it back to about the 20. Dan Land, who has been very active from special teams play with the tackle, 47-yard punt. Well-known logo throughout the National Football League, a very popular one indeed, the Los Angeles Raiders here at the LA Memorial Coliseum. Thus far, that's been a pretty good combination indeed. 17-10, Raiders lead at 4:59 left in the third. On first down, Cobb looking for some daylight. Finds it on the right side for about 3 yards. And Cobb really has been working hard for what yardage he does have. 19 carries, 47 yards. And again, initially, there was no daylight to the left for him at all.
I tell you, that's the one thing that Reggie Kopp has been doing throughout this football game is cutting the football back. The Tampa Bay offensive line is what's called a zone blocking scheme. They all move and try and stretch that defense out, and it's up to Reggie Kopp to either hit the whole front side or cut it back to daylight.
2nd and 7. Erickson drills it complete to Copeland for the first down. Horace Copeland hauls in the pass from Erickson. And with 4:13 and counting, Tampa trying to march. Derek Hoskins on the tackle. Ball spotted at the 35, 1st and 10 out of the I formation for Tampa Bay. Under pressure, gets rid of it. Complete to Cobb for the first down. Now, in the old days, of not too far ago that would have been in the grass, but instead Erickson liberalized rule, got rid of it, a 15-yard pass play for the first down.
The rule this year, James, he's in the grass, but there is no danger of another lineman or another defensive personnel hitting Erickson. So therefore, he can still throw the football, and it is not down by grasp. Reggie Cobb, great job catching the football, but let me tell you, this young kid, Craig Erickson, fantastic job of keeping his poise and getting the football to Reggie Cobb.
You don't think Willie Broughton is upset about that rule? I'm sure he is. On 1st and 10, on the ground, Mazio Royster. And Royster barely across midfield.
What's up, Raider Nation? I am the Commish. If you haven't heard, the Raider Reaction 2020 Madden 21 PS4 Double Elimination Tournament kicks off November 1st. We are giving away an autographed Darren Waller cleat with JSA. We are giving away a gigantic, big, badass Raider box full of Raider merch from RaiderNationStore.net, Motorsports.com, and Raider Reaction. All of that for the winners, plus a runner-up prize pack. It's only a $30 buy-in. Autographed Darren Waller cleat plus a big badass Raider box of swag for the grand prize winner. Man, half the league's already full. You're running out of time. You're running out of time. Message the Raider Reaction Facebook page today. Give us your email so you can get your buy-in taken care of. We'll get you added in the chat. We're going to be drawing live first-round matchups. So you have no idea who you're going to play. It's double elimination. No skill level. Doesn't matter. It's all Raider on Raider crime. Message the Raider Reaction Facebook page now. Get your name in the hat before you miss out on the tournament. Games start November 1st.
3rd and 11. To Workman, and Workman tried to get up near the first down marker, run out of bounds about 3 yards shy. And whose helmet was ripped off that time? Is that still Royster going at it? Royster and Harrison still going at it as Anthony Smith, the big right end for the Raiders, tried to talk to Royster and calm him down. Well, Sam White's indicated he was looking for his team to be a lot tougher, a lot more physical in this game, and he gets it.
That's the best pass of the game right there, James. Look at that. That's got to be about a 40-yard shot put.
And what we don't see also is how Royster is doing his best to get over there, but you can see Anthony Smith saying, hey, look here, man. Please, this guy's crazy. Leave him alone.
I assure you, a man that big, I would not be chasing him without a helmet. I wouldn't chase him with a helmet.
Dan Straczynski's punt. Fair caught by Tim Brown at the 13. 1:14 left in the third. Back with more after this.
And we're back with the California version of the Los Angeles Raiders Santa Claus. The LA Raiders on top of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 1:14 left to play in the third quarter.
Sam White's understandably upset, Dennis, because we talked about that last sequence there with the helmet of Royster being thrown, but the no call was probably a bad call.
That's probably the biggest thing about that. Nolan Harrison throwing the helmet, that goes right along the lines of taunting, unsportsmanlike conduct. I tell you, that should have been a penalty.
1st and 10 for the Raiders, and Bell finally hit by Marty Carter. A gain of 2 on a play will bring up a 2nd and 8, and Tampa Bay's secondary will be operating without Jerry Gray, who was out with a groin injury, and Martin Mayhew as well is out with a strained hip. So Tampa Bay's secondary will really be tested here. And again, coming into the game, Sam White was looking to try to contain the Raiders and that speedy wide receiving core from big plays.
I assure you, the Raiders coaching staff knows exactly about that loss of the 2 starting defensive backs. And as a matter of fact, here we go.
On 2nd and 8, a flag on the play as Tim Brown catches it and takes it up to about the 23. And I'm wondering if that flag, Hostetler is indicating us against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Illegal to the hands, defense, number 77, hands to the face, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That against Mark Wheeler, the second-year player out of Texas A&M. Well, Dennis, you mentioned that again, the secondary, minus those two key players, will certainly be severely tested. Thus far, really only one big play that has burned the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that being Alexander Wright, the 27-yard touchdown preceded by a 47-yard pass play. But the Buccaneers have done a pretty good job of keeping the big plays in check.
In this game and in the 3 games prior to this football game, they've done a real good job of not allowing the big play. Without Mayhew and Gray, you can bet that the Raiders are going to test that and try and go deep.
On 1st and 10, Hostetler looking up top, has a wide open man, Wright. Flag on the play. Wright being defended by Milton Mack. And there is a flag on the play, a 48-yard pass play, but we'll await the result.
Illegal contact, defense number 21. Penalty is declined. First down.
And that was on Milton Mack, and we just got finished talking about the big plays.
Watch this double move. The wide receiver fakes to stop for the route. Milton Mack totally falls for the play. Alexander Wright gets down the sidelines. Had that ball been thrown on time and deep enough, that would have been a touchdown. No doubt about it.
We would call that a shake and bake move in basketball, but very good indeed. And that's the end of the third quarter with the score. Raiders on top 17-10. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Final 15 minutes of the contest upcoming. Raiders on top 17-10. As we take a look at some of the receivers who have burned Tampa Bay's secondary, and very elite group indeed.
You are talking about the elitist group. Sharp, Carter, Rice. Wow, you're talking Rising. You're talking about a fantastic group.
Alexander Wright with 6 catches for 114 yards thus far. Hostetler drills it complete. Nice haul in with a horde of white shirts around Tim Brown. And Tim Brown was telling us yesterday he has absolutely no problems going across the middle. That a 12-yard haul in for a first down.
You know, he actually likes going over the middle, does a very good job. He got accustomed to that at Notre Dame, coming across the middle, going up and getting the football. You take a look at Tim Brown, he is not afraid to go up and reach for the football. A lot of wide receivers, when they go across the middle, their vertical goes to about as high as a pizza box and their arms get real short.
Alligator arms,
They don't
no doubt.
Yeah.
On first down, McCallum inside the 25 to about the 24. Ethan Horton doing a nice job of blocking along the way. Well, we saw the elite core of receivers who've done a job against Tampa Bay. Alexander Wright, first 100-yard receiving day as a Raider. With the Dallas Cowboys, he certainly enjoyed some very good games. Total 10 catches for 170 yards against Detroit before. So he's adding to his numbers nicely here. 2nd and 5. Bell and McCallum, the backs. Bell in motion. Hostetler with all kinds of time. Flag on the play as Milton Mack batted down a ball that was intended for James Jett.
Holding. Defense number 54. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That against the veteran Jimmy Williams, a 12-year linebacker out of Nebraska.
Well, whenever you're a linebacker going against speed, the type that James Jett has, sometimes the best thing you can do is just hold him, prevent the touchdown.
I think so.
They'll take the penalty instead of the 7 points.
First and 10. Inside the 20 of Tampa Bay. Hostetler looking for Jett. Oh! Out of bounds. Milton Mack on the coverage.
regardless whether he would have had 2 feet in, he wasn't even close. He didn't have possession of the football. A valiant effort by James Jett of really laying his body out to make the catch. Just not enough.
Boy, great sequence there. Mack right there as well. Good effort on James Jett's part.
Good effort on Mack's part, just staying step for step with Jett. That's a tough route to defend, especially when you have that kind of speed, James. That fade route.
And you better believe that Milton Mack was pleased to know that he had the end line, the out-of-bounds line as a defender helping him. First and 10. Tim Brown in motion. McCallum, the ball carrier, runs into a wall, and Hardy Nickerson will make that Bernard Wilson the bottom of the pile, holding on to that foot for dear life. Good effort on Bernard Wilson's part.
Wilson doing all he can to hang on. Napoleon McCallum doing all he can to get the extra inches out. I'll tell you what, this is just a battle. They're scraping and scratching and just fighting and clawing for everything they can get both sides. I really like it whenever there's this much competition in a football game. You've got to give it to that young Tampa Bay defensive line. They've really performed well.
2nd and 7 from the 10 of Tampa Bay. Hostetler. Looking for Jett again, who can't hold on to it, and Ricky Reynolds applies the hit on him nonetheless.
Ricky Reynolds on the coverage.
12:31 left in the ball game. Tampa Bay trailing the Raiders 17-10.
Well, that just goes to show you, it doesn't matter how much speed you've got, every now and then you're going to get pelted. He took a shot there. Reynolds with a nice hit.
Again, the Raiders with a record of 8-5, one of 8 teams fighting for 6 playoff spots in the AFC, cannot afford a loss in its remaining games. Tampa Bay with a record of 4-9, looking for respectability. 3rd and 7. And mass confusion in terms of what to run, so Jeff Hostetler calls a timeout, leaving the Raiders with 1. Tampa Bay has 3 timeouts remaining. Alexander Wright, 6 receptions, 104 yards. As we mentioned, first 100-yard receiving day as a Raider. But more importantly, the Raiders with a 3rd and 3 at the 10. Will make it a 3rd and 7 at the 10-yard line, and ahead 17-10 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the Raiders have yet to score since the 3rd quarter, and kind of ties back in with what we were talking about, inability to put teams away, Dennis.
Hey, that's been the specter for the Los Angeles Raiders this entire football season. They have not learned as a team how to put people out whenever they're ahead. This right here will prove to them, will prove to Art Shell that they're coming out of that they're learning how to do that. We'll see what they can do.
On 3rd and 7, Hostetler with time, plenty of time. Good defensive coverage by the Buccaneers, and a flag on the play. Roderick Thomas was the one applying the pressure on Jeff Hostetler, and the preliminary signal is against the Raiders.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and most importantly of all, become an official supporter of Raider Reaction. Help us paint the world silver and black. And to give back to you for being an official supporter, the #1 thing, you get a ball assigned to your name in the hopper on the Reaction Shop raffle the first Thursday of every month as we give out prize packs. 17 prize packs last month, 20 the month before that, 21 the month before that. Become an official supporter of Raider Reaction. So the first Thursday of every month, you can kick back and have a chance to win every damn prize we give away. Go to RaiderReaction.com, click the supporter tab to get all the info, or go to the top of the Raider Reaction Facebook page and click that blue Become a Supporter button. Now there's probably even a button right under this fucking video that you're watching right now. Get it done, man. Get it done and help us paint the world silver and black.
Holding. Offense, number 88, 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down, 4th down.
Boy, not executing very nicely here, that against Ethan Horton.
Once again, playing into the themes that have been plaguing the Raiders all year, getting down here, penalties, miscues, just not able to put people away. We see Ethan Horton just grabbing a hold of Ricky Reynolds here. They've been pulling him down.
So this will make it a 38-yarder, Dennis. Jaeger 5 points away from establishing the single-season scoring record. And there is yet another flag, although Jaeger booted that one good.
Yes, there is
flag at
flag.
the 19.
Holding. Defense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. First down.
I tell you, now there's a question that you've got to ask. Do you take the points off the board? You know, there's an old philosophy in coaching that you never, ever take the points off the board. But here is opportunity for the Raiders to get a touchdown. I'll tell you, that's a risky call. I would personally would have stuck with the points on the board.
Oh, you would have.
Tampa Bay's defense is playing well. They've held them already.
Okay. That was a 6th first down accomplished by way of penalty for the Raiders as we look at Napoleon McCallum.
Handoff to Napoleon McCallum.
And no gain on the play by McCallum. Hardy Nickerson leading the charge.
It appears
tackle there.
It appears the Raiders are going to have to get down there with something other than their running game, which has been very anemic this entire football game. The front four for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been playing it very well the entire game. Taking the points off the board could come back to haunt our shell.
11:40 and counting left in the ball game. Raiders on top 17-10. 24 yards total on the ground for the Raiders. To embellish your point, Dennis. Hostetler with time. Drills it incomplete. Intended receiver was Ethan Horton. And Milton Mack nearly had himself a pick.
Well, James, back to my original point. Right there, Milton Mack catches that football. The Raiders lose 3 points. Back to the old maxim that you never take points off the board. Here's why. Right there, Milton Mack. Oh, an opportunity to steal 3 points from the Raiders, just to take it back.
3rd and 10, ball at the 15. Hostetler, 16 of 23 for 220 yards. Raiders 0 for 7 third down conversions. Incomplete. Nice defensive job by Ricky Reynolds, who got a hand in there. Intended receiver was Tim Brown. 11:16 left in the ball game. Tampa Bay trailing by 7.
Reynolds just gets a hand in here on Tim Brown. Does a good job being patient, not pass interference against Tim Brown, but just coming over the top. Nice little athletic move to knock the football away. Good job.
And yet again, Jaeger will attempt a field goal. This one will be for 33. And another flag on the play. Wow. Dan Turk indicating against Tampa Bay.
Offside. Defense, number 29. Running into the kicker. Defense, number 29. Penalty is declined. Field goal is good.
So the points will stand here.
The points will stand here. And it will be assessed on the kickoff.
Well, the points stand, as Dennis Bird indicated. Back in a moment. Back to live action. 11-11 left in the ball game. Tampa Bay trailing the Raiders 20-10. Charles Wilson from the goal line slips and falls and is touched at the 13. First and 10 from the 13 for the Bucks. Dave Moore in motion. McLaughlin across the line and flags on the play.
Start. Offense, number 76, simulating the start of a play. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That on Scott Deal as we take a look at the AFC playoff picture as of the moment. Raiders doing their best to stay in contention here. 8 teams fighting for 6 playoff spots. And believe it or not, your Jets are still in the picture.
Yeah, imagine that. I'll tell you, they've been playing very dismal offense.
I'll tell you, it's a hot Houston team that is heading toward the playoffs now. It's victory over Pittsburgh today.
Houston now, James, fighting for home team advantage. They're obviously in the playoffs. Now their big goal is to get the home field advantage. They like to keep the fans in the game.
First and 15 from the 8. Erickson looking for Hall. Complete to Ron Hall. Regaining 10 of those yards. Tampa Bay needs to get up to the 23 for the first down.
The veteran Lionel Washington is out of the game. Maybe quarterback Craig Erickson can take advantage of the lack of veteran experience now in the Raiders secondary.
Lionel Washington out with a hip injury. Cobb fighting to get to the 23. Fumble! Did the Raiders recover? It looks as if they did.
They did.
With 10-19 left in the ball game, Andre Bruce comes up with the fumble recovery.
And that is what I would consider putting the stranglehold on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Art Shell will be very pleased with his defense on this particular opportunity. Now Reggie Cobb here just struggling for the extra yards. The smart thing that the Raiders do is they work on stripping that football out. Very smart football by the Raiders, and of course they recover it. Andre Bruce, the previous first-round pick from 4 years ago.
Eddie Anderson doing a good job of working on that ball, but take a look at Torrin Dorn as he smacked at the ball.
You know, I don't think that the Buccaneers are very pleased with that call. I think they were complaining that there was a whistle blown. Nonetheless, the Raiders have the ball.
At the 16 of Tampa Bay, Hostetler. Intended receiver was James Jett. Joe King was back there, along with Milton Mack. Now again, you're thinking, Dennis, that the forward progress had been stopped and the whistle should have blown?
Yeah. Reggie Cobb once again trying to get to the first down, but his forward progress is obviously stopped. The play should have been whistle dead. I think that's what the Buccaneers were complaining, that the play was dead, but the Raiders still come up with the ball.
2nd and 10 from the 16 of Tampa Bay. Under pressure, Hostetler throws it quickly. The blitz was on as Barney Bussey was speeding in on Jeff Hostetler.
This is obviously a situation, a position on the field where you expect to. Make sure to join the official Facebook group of Raider Reaction, the Raider Reaction Empire. Come to the dark side. We've been expecting you. It's real. It's raw. It's uncensored. It's the group that you need to be in to discuss the team that you love during the 2020 season. No bitch-ass admins tapping you on the shoulder. We don't even know how to mute anybody, and we sure the fuck wouldn't do it anyway. Come to the dark side. It's real, raw, uncensored. The official group of Raider Reaction, the Raider Reaction Empire. We've been expecting.
Caught by Ismail at the 2. First down, Raiders. Ball will be spotted at the 1.
Nice little jump by the Rocket. Gets his 2 feet in, then he heads for the season.
A 15-yard pass play, Hostetler to Rocket Ismail, and it'll be 1st and goal for the Raiders. Ball at the 1. McCallum, the tailback, out of the I formation. One leg by Hostetler, touchdown Raiders. Rushing touchdown of the season for Jeff Hostetler. in the AFC in that category.
Wow, what a tremendous fake here. Everybody's eyes are going to the middle of the screen. They think the dive is going over the middle. Hardy Nickerson is just busting up in there to disrupt this play, and quarterback Jeff Hostetler runs it out. 5 touchdowns for the quarterback Jeff Hostetler. That's usually something that you see out of a quarterback like Steve Young or Randall Cunningham. Jeff Hostetler doing a good job of rushing with the ball.
First Raider quarterback to do such, running for 5 touchdowns in a season. And Jeff Jager now 2 points away. And let me correct myself, Dennis Bird. Jeff Jager has now tied George Blanda with 117 points as the scoring leader, single season scoring leader for the Raiders. Next point after a field goal, Jager will have it all to himself.
Of course, George Blanda, a legend in the game of football and a legend here with the Los Angeles Raiders. That's quite a milestone for Jager.
Jeff Hostetler ought to be pretty pleased with the way things have gone for him today.
He should be very pleased. He's had a very good performance. Once again, establishing, in my opinion, his toughness as a quarterback. A very tough, very dedicated quarterback. I like to see him have his success.
Well, now, Dennis, I've got to be quite honest as we take a look at Hostetler. He's a bit more extroverted there in terms of his actions than he was in our conversation yesterday. And little did I know the reason he was so standoffish was because one Dennis Bird greeted him rather rudely when you were on the playing field.
I didn't think you would bring that up, James. He was a little quiet in our meeting yesterday. Of course, who knows, it could have been because of the hit I put on him in Giant Stadium last season that put him out for 4 games. Cost me $3,000 in fines.
But now, as nice a guy as I've come to know you as being, finish the story now. The officials thought you were actually taunting him as well.
Yes, they did.
Oh, listen to him. Yes, they did. That was it, huh? That's the embellishment, huh?
I would never do that. A fine quarterback, James.
Yeah, well, see, I didn't know any better until our director, Craig Silver, had come in to ask why Hostetler was so quiet. Well, the net effect of all of that, we'll find out exactly which player was thrown out of the game. The extracurriculars have been ongoing here, and although Sam Wyche's team trails 27-10 with 10 minutes and 1 second remaining, I guess this is what he was looking for. He was looking for his guys to step up to the plate and be more physical.
Physical, yeah, but don't get cooked out of a football game. That only hurts the football club.
And it looks like it was Hardy Nickerson.
Oh, no.
Hometown guy.
Oh, goodness.
And the only tough thing about that is some of the fans in the stands have gotten caught up in the action as well.
Here's why. Steve Wisniewski, there was a fight after the extra point.
Well, heaven, that involved John Lynch. And Nickerson certainly is one fiery type anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
Easy going, as we mentioned before, born-again Christian off the field, very mild-mannered, but boy, on the field, talk about undergoing a change.
Still a Christian on the field, but I tell you what, Jekyll and Hyde.
From the 7, Mazio Royster. And Mazio Royster with a nice return to the 34, and yet again, extracurriculars continue.
Jager hurt himself on that, making the tackle on Mazio Royster.
And Jager gets up. He seems to be running okay. Well, Dennis, I recall, again, listening to Jerry Glanville talk about his Falcons and how he tried to make them tougher, and we'll continue it in a second.
Now we see Jager here come from the right screen, diving in to make the tackle. Made the tackle on Royster, but Royster lands on his right leg. Of course, Jager not accustomed to taking those kind of shots or to making tackles.
Well, Jerry Glanville was trying to make his squad rougher. He actually invited the Philadelphia Eagles down to an off-season practice session so they could fight for 2 hours. 9:49 left in the ball game. Erickson complete for the first down, and Copeland has room to run as Torrin Dorn pushes him out of bounds at about the 34. For those of you expecting to see 60 Minutes, welcome to LA Memorial Coliseum. You are watching the NFL on CBS and the game between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Los Angeles Raiders. I'm James Brown along with Dennis Byrd, and our score, Tampa Bay trailing the Raiders 27-10. Erickson to Workman. And Workman has the first down and boards ahead to about the 20.
Wow, I am impressed with the tenacity of this Tampa Bay offense. Look at that. They are not giving up. They've got 9 minutes in this football game left to go, and they're going to maximize every second they get.
And Jeff Jager trying to check that ankle of his to make certain that it's okay. Tampa Bay has spotted the Raiders a 14-0 lead in the first. Cobb runs it to his own man, but second and third effort still on his feet. Looked like a pinball player that time. 9 yards the hard way by Reggie Cobb.
The hard way. As you mentioned, he's a pinball just bouncing off a blocker. Oh, man, am I impressed.
And look at that uniform. Wow. That tells a story of what kind of day it's been.
Well, take a look at this. Watch Reggie Cobb. Finds his hole, gets around to
Bing the outside. Here, his own man.
Bing, that's one shot. There's two big shots. Chester McLaughlin.
And then gets pushed forward by Joe Kelly.
I guarantee you by the end of that play, he had no idea which way he was going. Give me a drink, the man said.
And there's a down Raider player. Looks like Joe Kelly, and now he is up under his own power. And walks off okay. Final scores from around the league. Houston won its 9th straight, sweeping Pittsburgh for the season, 26-17. Atlanta's playoff hopes very slim now, having lost to Washington. Atlanta has never won at Washington's RFK, and Buffalo continues to give Miami.
What's up, Raider Nation? Happy Black Friday. I am the Commish, coming to you from deep behind the enemy line. As always, remember, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube channel, join the official group of Raider Reaction, the Raider Reaction Empire, and become an official supporter of Raider Reaction. That is most important. That qualifies you for a chance to win every single item we give away on the Reaction Shop raffles the first Thursday of every month. Don't miss out. Help us paint the world silver and black, because you know you like what we're bringing you, because you're watching this shit right fucking now. So do it. Help us support the cause of painting the world silver and black.
And these are updated standings. San Francisco clinched the NFC West with that victory. And Atlanta, as I mentioned before, Atlanta hurt its chances against the Washington Redskins, losing today. First and goal from the 4. Cobb. Flag on the play. Nolan Harrison on the stop. Nolan Harrison was involved in quite a bit of jawing and pushing earlier with Mazio Royster. You saw him put his hands up trying to keep from having a penalty assessed on him.
You know, Nolan Harrison.
Illegal use of the hands. Defense. Hands of the face mask. 5 yards. Or half the distance. First down.
Nolan Harrison being very animated. You see him in this game, a very tough, mean, rough player. But you know what his hobby is? Collecting comic books. He's got a collection of over 4,000 comic books.
Well, I'm sure Action Comics for sure.
I wonder in which comic book you see somebody throwing somebody's helmet.
Trying to act like Thor, huh? First and goal. Cobb. Same touchdown, Buccaneers.
Same play they scored on earlier.
And a nice block again by Rudy Harris.
Rudy Harris, let me tell you, the exact same play, the exact same side of the field, exact same end of the field.
Third rushing touchdown of the season for Reggie Cobb.
Hey, if it works, keep running it.
No doubt about it.
Here's the replay as we see it again. You watch the guard on the right of the screen, Bruce Reimers, goes to make the kick out, and Rudy Harris once again makes the block on Greg Townsend, freeing up Reggie Cobb for the touchdown. He just waltzes into the end zone. That's twice.
And that from a young man who is definitely not 100% healthy. Reggie Cobb with that banged up knee. Michael Husted on for the point after. And Tampa Bay not rolling over at all. Dennisburg battling its way. 27-17 with 7:14 left in the ball game, and there's a flag on the far side of the field.
Offside. Defense. The point is good. We will penalize 5 yards on the kickoff.
Well, that might benefit the next team that gets this crew if, in fact, they're having problems raising their arms tomorrow.
We take a look at the replay. Rudy Harris lined up in the fullback position right behind the quarterback. Makes a tremendous block on the linebacker, Joe Kelly. Once again, you get the kick-out block by Reimers, and Reggie Cobb's going to take the ball into the end zone. Watch the block by Rudy Harris. Very good job. Of course, Joe Kelly reading the play, coming out. Rudy Harris just does a fantastic job getting the block. Reggie Cobb just steps into the end zone.
Rudy Harris will like looking at film tomorrow for sure. Reggie Cobb doing a nice job again. Hurt the 7th game of the season against the Atlanta Falcons in the Dome in Atlanta. Had 75 yards when he went out of that game in the 3rd quarter. Missed nearly a month, but still is the leading ground gainer on this Tampa Bay Bucs squad, and he's coming back and running strong.
A fine running back from the University of Tennessee. His marquee, Reggie Cobb's marquee, is that he keeps those legs driving, James. He just chugga, chugga, chugga. He just keeps going. Very powerful young runner, and he's the kind of guy along that Jerome Bettis type of mold that likes to dish out the punishment instead of take it. I tell you, I'm a very, very big fan of Reggie Cobb's. Having played against him and having watched him, very, very good football.
Onside kick is on here, judging by the setup. 7:14 left in the game. Tampa Bay trailing by 10. And yet, some more extracurriculars. Curtis Buckley is going on the side of the Buccaneers. Well, you talk about one brave Raider. Terry McDaniel is taking on all 53 himself.
We talked about the toughness of Terry McDaniels, but my goodness.
Well, it looked like the Raiders recovered, but in the midst of the mayhem there, we'll have to verify that, but it looked as if Tim Brown was the one who came up with it.
Tim Brown recovers the football. Lynch comes in, gives the shot to Tim Brown. We see Tim, he looks like the 3rd guy from the left.
Number 81.
Number 81,
yes,
Tim Brown.
He did get it.
And Lynch comes in.
Oh, yeah, that's reason to be upset.
A little late shot.
That's reason to be upset.
The rest of the Raiders weren't too pleased about it. I got it.
First down.
I got to tell you, I admire, I don't know if you'd call it courage or what, quite possibly stupidity of Terry McDaniels. Holy smokes. Here's the fight. Now,
and see, Rocket Ismail was the one who was caught in the act. But look at Terry McDaniel going against 5 Buccaneers.
Well, I guess the only advantage that Terry McDaniels has is he knows that every punch he throws, he's not going to hit one of his teammates. Just let him rip.
Well, Terry McDaniel is one guy you want to go into battle with. My goodness.
I guess so. A tough young man.
Wow. Kansas City, San Diego, what a battle there. And with Seattle, Phoenix, and flags, well, guess what, nothing new. Bruce Wilkerson and Demetrius DeBose. Wow. Well, you know what, we did the Atlanta-Houston game, and I know we kept a punch stat for that one. This one certainly has to rival it. I tell you.
Start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
This has the makings of one of this decade's greatest fights, Jim.
Well, and Al Davis is a big fight fan, but I'm not sure that he's enjoying this. And a reminder, coming up at the conclusion of this contest, it'll be 60 minutes, seen in its entirety, except on the West Coast and the Mountain time zones. Hostetler to McCallum. Napoleon McCallum across the 30. A running gain of 2.
A running play we haven't seen a lot of so far in this game, which is the counter play.
You said not having seen enough of that?
We haven't seen much of it. Well, of course, here's the most important stat of the day. Punches thrown, Tampa Bay 57, the Los Angeles Raiders 72.
Now what's most important is punches landed.
How many landed? I assure you, Terry McDaniels took his share in that little foray over on the sideline.
2nd and 13. Ball at the 31 of the Raiders. Hostetler complete to Tim Brown. Brown takes it up to the 40, needs to get to the 44 for a first down. 9-yard pass play.
I hardly think that stat is correct. There have been punches, there have been kicks. This should be a kickboxing match. We ought to have kick stats, punch stats. We ought to have them all.
Well, your point's well taken, though. Probably nothing more stupid than a football fight with all the equipment on. That's why you keep your helmet on.
And here's the ring announcer.
He's ready. 3rd and 4. Hostetler complete for the first down. Rocket Ismail finally stopped by Roger Jones. 15-yard pass play. Hostetler to the Rocket. 5:30 and counting left in the ball game. Now, Dennis, I think we may mention the fact that this is, without a doubt, the fastest wide receiving corps in the National Football League. And look at those times.
My goodness, look at these times. 4.2s, 4.17s, 4.4s, 4.3s. My. Times from college. World-class speed indeed. And the fastest guy is on defense, probably James Trapp. Nick Bell keeps it on the ground. A gain of 4. Will bring up a 2nd and 6 with 4:52 left in the ball game. I tell you, James, that
there's James Trapp, the guy we were talking about, who was probably the fastest of the group.
Probably the fastest guy in the entire group. I haven't been a 4.140 in my car. These guys it's unbelievable the speed that they have. Coach Shell told us if they were to put together a 4x100 relay team, there would have to be guys sitting on the bench. You've got 6 or 7 guys that run 4.2, 4.3, 4.140s. You got to set guys out. You could have a little runoff to see who's the best guy for your 4x100 meter team. And interesting enough, Willie Gault isn't even starting in this game. He's the only one that's won an Olympic gold medal.
He's old fast, if you will.
He's old fast. I tell you, fast is fast.
There's a timeout on the field as you take a look at the current numbers for timeouts. Tampa with 2 and the Raiders with 1 with 4:52 remaining in the ball game. Coming up next Sunday, NFL action continues here on CBS. Doubleheader action, Detroit at Chicago. That will be the big game. The Saints at Philadelphia. Late games include Washington at Dallas, Giants at Phoenix, and Tampa Bay at Denver. That'll be coming your way next week here on CBS. And of course, the NFL today kicks it all off. 2nd and 6 from the 42. McCallum and Jimmy Williams with the hit. A gain of only 1 on the play.
I might mention that James Jett did get a gold medal as an alternate on an Olympic track team.
Another timeout called by Tampa Bay, leaving 1 for Tampa Bay and 1 for the Raiders. We saw a shot there of Howie Long and Chester McLaughlin. Boy, that's an interesting pair. As we look at remaining games left for Kansas City, Denver, and LA. Teams, of course, in the chase. And what would you judge by the remaining schedules?
Well, I tell you, you got to think that Kansas City obviously is in the driver's seat in the AFC West. Denver Broncos, they've got a pretty, well, obviously with the Raiders, or with the Tampa Bay, they feel that that's a game that they should win. And of course the Raiders, the Los Angeles Raiders, they're in control of their own destiny right now. If they get into the playoffs, it's entirely up to them, obviously.
Green Bay can be difficult, though. A little over 2 minutes remaining in this contest, and look at the score here, 28-24. San Diego was leading in that contest, 17-zip, and boy, have they battled back and forth. Raiders fans will love nothing better than to see San Diego pull that one out. Incomplete. incomplete. Intended receiver was the Rocket, Ricky Reynolds, right there. And keeping the playoff picture in perspective as we look at the AFC West standings, the Raiders again right in the thick of it, and we've driven the point home that the Raiders cannot afford a loss in this game or the upcoming 2 remaining contests as they look for one of those playoff spots.
Coach Shell had mentioned earlier that they were in a 5-game playoff spot in the season. They had to win all 5 football games. They win this one, they've got to win the next 2 to get in the playoffs to hope for a wild card spot.
Jeff Gossett on to punt, standing back at his own 45. And Courtney Hawkins will let that one go. So Tampa Bay will operate from its own 20 with 4:30 and counting left in the ball game. Both teams with 1 timeout apiece remaining. Tampa Bay trailing 27-17. Reggie Cobb the back. 1st and 10, Tampa Bay. Oh, Howie Long. Bruce Reimers of Tampa Bay said, in looking at tape of Howie Long, as Reimers limps off, we mentioned that he was struggling with a bad ankle anyway, was supposed to have rotated every 5 plays with Charles McCray. Reimers said he was not counting on it, and properly so, because he has not been rotating. But he said Howie Long hasn't lost a step.
Howie Long hasn't. He said if in fact Howie's gained a step because he worked so hard in the offseason. He has his own personal trainer, and he just really keeps getting better and better.
On 2nd and 11,
get that.
Complete to Workman. Workman slips ahead across the 25. Gain of 6. Tampa Bay needs to get to the 30 for 1st down.
James, we would be remiss if we didn't talk a little bit about Howie Long. 7-time Pro Bowler. He's going for his 8th Pro Bowl, and he is playing exceptional this year. He is certainly playing up to the standards that have gotten Howie Long into the Pro Bowl for 7 years.
Only Art Shell is an 8-time Pro Bowler with the Raiders. Erickson decides to run it. Gets a nice block by Ron Hall as Erickson runs for the 1st down and smartly out of bounds. Another flag thrown. The flag at the 28. Ron Hall did a very nice job as he looked back and saw Erickson starting to run and give him a block. And there's the 8-time Pro Bowler we were talking about, Art Shell.
Ron Hall, of course, a veteran tight end for the Buccaneers, doing the smart thing, making the block for Erickson. Of course, he wanted to seal and give Erickson the outside so he didn't have to cut it up and take the shot.
Personal foul, defense number 91. Hands to the face, 1st down.
Chester McLaughlin. Bruce Reimers also had some kind words for McLaughlin, not of the penalty variety, but the kind of package that he brings to the field.
A big package, James. I tell you what, Chester McLaughlin is a huge man and very explosive and very powerful. That's what makes him such a good ball player.
On 1st down, Erickson looking for Wilson, has him for the 1st down. And Wilson brought down by Eddie Anderson. Tampa Bay in Raiders territory, an 18-yard pass play. And again, Tampa Bay with 3:07 remaining. Still very much a factor. We have seen some strange things happen. 27-17, trailing by 10. A touchdown and a field goal. Incomplete, thrown at the feet of Charles Wilson.
We take a look ahead for what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have to play in the last 2 weeks at Denver and Mile High Stadium, of course, and then at San Diego. Obviously, not easy games for the Buccaneers, but it gives them once again that opportunity to instill that winning edge and something very positive to end on this season.
On 2nd down, Erickson decides to run it again and dives for the 1st down. Aaron Wallace on the stop. The clock continues to wind down. 2:30 and counting.
Tell you, Craig Erickson has certainly earned my respect throughout this football game and on this drive.
1st and 10 from the 21 of the Raiders. Operating from the pro set. Workman in motion. Erickson rolling right. Drills a pass complete to Horace Copeland at the 10.
Nice job.
An 11-yard pass play, good enough for a first down, and Tampa Bay looking impressive on the drive as we wind toward the 2-minute mark.
Coach Sam Weiss is doing something here for his young quarterback. He's getting a rollout. They're going to pull an uncovered guard and get him in front of Erickson. Rollout protection. What that does is it effectively makes only 2 rushers. You see them, Long and McLaughlin, only 2 rushers able to rush the pass. Look at the punishment Horace Copeland takes there.
From McLaughlin at the end. Wow. Sam Weiss looking at his club, trying to get him to move. 1st and goal from the 10. Erickson looking for Hall, make it more incomplete. Looking for the backup tight end, Dave Moore. And we're at the 2-minute mark. 1:57 left in the ball game.
We take another look at it. The ball goes in and out of the hands of Moore. Oh.
1:57 left. Tampa Bay trailing by 10. 27-17. Raiders on top of Tampa Bay. 1:57 left in the ball game. Both teams 1 timeout apiece. Tampa Bay at the 10. 2nd and goal. And don't forget, coming up next at the conclusion of this game, 60 minutes seen in its entirety except on the West Coast and in the Mountain time zones. Trips left. Ron Hall in motion. Erickson throws it away smartly. No one open that time. And there is a flag on the play. Surprise.
But this one will go against Tampa Bay, James. Illegal motion.
Illegal motion. Offense, 2 players moving prior to the snap. Penalty is declined. 3rd down.
That'll do it.
You've got Hall is the one that's supposed to be in motion, and Copeland is not. And Copeland starts to move. The reason they put Ron Hall out there, a tight end, is so they could come back and run a tight end set the next play and keep the Raiders off balance.
3rd and goal. Workman, the ball carrier. Nowhere to go. Stopped by McLaughlin. A loss of 3, and Sam Weiss calls his last timeout with 1:39 left in the game. Straczynski holding for this 31-yard field goal attempt by Michael Husted. And it's good. Tampa Bay draws 3 points closer with 1:34 left in the ball game. And White encouraging his squad, trailing by a touchdown as we get set for the onside kick. Oh! The Raiders. Rocket Ismail has it at the 28 for the Raiders with 1:34 left in the ball game. Tampa Bay with no timeouts remaining. The Raiders with 1. And assuming that the Raiders do hold on, this is what the AFC West will look like. And again, as we made the point earlier on, Raiders have to win the remaining 2 ball games in order to secure a playoff spot. 8 teams going for 6 spots. Kansas City, a winner, improving to 10-4.
You know, you talk about how close everything's been. You've got 6 spots open, and you've got 3 teams right there in the AFC West that are sitting there battling for it. Hey, talk about a competitive conference, as well as the AFC East, which is a competitive conference, Miami and Buffalo and the New York Jets.
Flags on the play with 1:32 remaining.
The Wiz, Steve Wisniewski, not pleased with the going-ons of the defensive linemen.
Well, Sam White certainly ought to be pretty pleased, not that the team, if in fact this score holds up, loses the ball game, but the effort displayed, even in the face of some of the mistakes, the turnovers that gave the Raiders the edge.
Illegal formation on the offense. Only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Penalty is declined. Second down.
Here's the AFC playoff picture as we take a look at it. Buffalo, Houston, and Kansas City right now sitting very good. And Pittsburgh, wow, Pittsburgh swept by Houston this season, and even the New York Jets still alive in the playoff picture as Jeff Hostetler goes down on one knee. So Archell, who had difficulty putting a finger on exactly why the Raiders have been plagued by inconsistency, said the bottom line is let's still get the victories and keep going. We are on an uptick, and that's the way it appears, as if it will end with a victory being the uptick notion. And yet another flag.
Personal foul. Defense. Personal foul. Offense. Number 65 is ejected.
Well, if that's the case, if they're looking for vultures, they're heading toward the broadcast booth here, Dennis. In terms of bite-sized morsels, figuring out what has been resolved regarding the playoff picture, the Giants and Cowboys are in. The 49ers, with their huge victory over the Lions, clinched the West and a bye. And the Houston Oilers, sweeping the Pittsburgh Steelers, have clinched the AFC Central. Houston winning its 9th straight game this season.
The important thing right there with what we're looking at, the Giants, Cowboys, and Oilers are all three fighting on getting the home field advantage for the playoffs.
Who would have thunk it preseason that the Giants would be in that position?
No kidding. Turnovers with the coach.
No kidding. Dan Reeves. Oh, remarkable job by Dan Reeves as Jeff Hostetler goes down on one knee again. Dan Reeves got himself a running game and got rid of some players, kept the ones he wanted.
And much to the credit of my former coach, George Henshaw, who is now the offensive coordinator for the New York Giants.
If you take a look at the difference between the play clock and the game clock, obviously the Raiders will have to snap it one more time, and Jeff Hostetler will do what Ken Stabler would call the position win the game. Get down on one knee. Fittingly, the game ends with a little yelling and screaming and pushing. That's been the common thread through this game. The Raiders come up victorious, beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 27-20.
We hope you enjoyed the latest edition of Raider Reaction Black Friday Silver and Black Theater. Until next time, we're out. Peace, love, Raider Nation.
Losses or more.